The Pacers are a very good team. I've listened intently over the last couple of days of just how good they are, how deep they are, how well they run, how well they move the ball, how well they shoot. Oh my God, you would think on a national level that the Knicks don't even have a chance. And this was what was irking me yesterday, and it just continues and continues and continues. All I can tell you is that, this is going to be a fever pitch tonight. Every game that the Knicks play from here on in is going to be the most expensive game, the most important game, and it's just going to go on and on and on as long as they continue to keep winning.
Yes, and that's what we've seen, last year, and then when they first got back to the playoffs with Julius Randle back in the day, is like, oh, man, this is the first time for this, first time for that. Last year, first time for this, and now here in 2025, it's the first time for them getting back to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think the things that make you feel encouraged about the Knicks is the fact that they played their best game of the postseason the last game they played, and they played it at home. So you've heard about them peaking potentially right now is a word that I have heard out there. That would be great. Peak, take game one. And I mean, listen, the Oklahoma City Thunder took off in the second half and blew the doors off of Minnesota. That would be great if you could do that, but I'm not expecting a lot of rocking chairs in this series. I think this is going to be just an awesome, entertaining, down to the last second series that's going to go 6 or 7 games.
Is exactly what a playoff rivalry series should be.
Yes.
And you would think that, we're going to see a lot lot of guys. Well, I don't know how many guys are going to get injured, but there's going to be a couple guys
Let's
getting
not
injured.
talk about that.
Well, I mean, we talked about it prior to the Celtics and what it would take for the Knicks to win, and they would need a little bit of help here or there. They got it. And last year, and even this year, the Pacers have got it from their end. I mean, first with the Cavaliers, and last year, of course, with the Knicks, as they beat the Knicks in 7, and that was a beat-up Knicks team.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't a team that featured Mitchell Robinson. That wasn't a team that featured Karl Anthony Towns or OG Anunoby, or Mikal Bridges. So you have 4 of the most important players that are all healthy, ready to rock and roll, and the Garden's going to be just absolutely rocking tonight. So, you look back at some of these playoff series between these two teams in history. It's just amazing. And here we are again. And Tyrese Halliburton, he's filling the shoes of a Reggie Miller for older fans.
Yeah, that's right. And he's certainly, let's hope he doesn't work into the history of the New York Knicks as much as Reggie Miller did. I mean, it's certainly one series that they won, but I don't think any Knicks fan believed that if the Knicks had stayed healthy that the Pacers would have won that series. I mean, they were done by the end of it. OG tried his best to come back. He was limping around. He couldn't do a damn thing. Then Hart and Brunson both go down. It was impossible at that point. And this is going to be a completely different style of basketball that we're going to see from the Pacers. This is not going to be hucking up threes and depending on the three-point shot in every single series is a big deal. But just not as much for the Pacers as it was the Celtics, where this team runs, it's transition, it's fast, it's trying to wear you out, it's the bench and emptying the bench and keeping guys fresh and all of those things that we saw last year. And we're used to it now, having seen the Pacers, because it's a very, very similar team. The Knicks have changed a hell of a lot more from last year to this year than the Indiana Pacers have. So, yeah, can't wait. The only thing that sucks about it for us is we are going to be tired because these games are tipping off after 8 o'clock, and we're going to be up texting each other in the 11 o'clock hour and then seeing each other a couple hours later. But that's fine. That is a small sacrifice to make, Boomer, to have the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. I will take no sleep. Give me this every year, for God's sakes.
Well, there's artificial energy. There's energy in the studio already this morning. You can feel it. There's also a palatable energy in the building. I came in this morning. There's the security guard down there. He's ready to rock and roll.
Oh, hell yeah.
Everybody is ready for this. Everybody's looking forward to this. And quite frankly, as just a New York sports fan overall, this is great for the city. It really is. It brings out what I'd like to think is the best in everyone. I would imagine a lot of kids are wearing their Knicks jerseys to schools today.
Yeah.
And I would think that you would it'd be dyed in the wool to miss this game tonight. You cannot miss this game. You got to watch every freaking second of this game.
Yeah, I don't know if it brings out the best in everybody, as we saw that guy get hit with bags of garbage wearing the Pacers jersey.
But
I think it brings out the best in most of us. Let's say that. bested most of us. And then the guy was screaming at Brian Windhorst and the whole thing. But yeah, I mean,
every now and then you can run to a lunatic. But I'm just telling you, what you saw last Friday night was just a fan base that's been waiting to explode. You know, we got Rascone in here this morning, and he's in there for Al. And quite frankly, he's a huge Knicks fan. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he told Wally Szczerbiak that he would have paid $10,000 for that Larry Johnson 4-point ball.
Yeah, and by the way, me and Rascone sat next to each other for that game. He was kind enough to bring me to that playoff game. He had season tickets in his family, and he asked me to go because we grew up together and went to high school together. And so we have 3 out of the 4 of us that are sitting in the studio right now. We're at that LJ 4-point play game. And I've said to this day, that was the coolest moment I've ever had attending a game. And it's kind of like not even close because of how that whole thing went down and the chills and hugging strangers and where I was at that point in my life, being young and then celebrating in the streets and doing the LJ thing. So yeah,
you get exactly what the New York Knicks fan, the young New York Knicks fan
hell
is
yeah.
doing
I mean,
right
those
now.
guys, it's their turn now for sure to experience this for the first time. And for us, it's a little bit more nostalgia and getting back into that excitement. But yeah, I mean, the guys that are calling up, and I hear them all day long on the radio station when I'm listening. I'm 20-something, I'm 30-something. I don't remember this, I don't remember that. You know, so it's really cool to see the energy and the reinvigoration that this franchise has brought to the city and the fan base. And Rascone did say, he's like, man, I want to go back to this series all these years later. It's like the 2 of us should go. And I'm like, I can't, man. I just can't.
You know, if there were a Sunday afternoon, 11 o'clock, 3 o'clock game, I could see you going to that.
And I did look at the home game schedule. Like, okay, tonight, just impossible. No way. Friday night, I'm gonna be staying in Jersey. You know, going to be hanging out after the kickoff to summer. Then Game 5 is what day? It's the middle of the weekday too, right? It's like a Tuesday.
It's next. No, it'd be. Let me think.
No,
it would be next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Yeah,
we're talking.
That's the game I'm going to. Without you, thanks.
No, I know. I mean, you're still going to have a great time. It's not like it's going to matter. You're going to have a better time without me because the whole time I'm going to be looking at the clock, going,
"Oh my god!" the whole time, probably. I'm just going to be crying tears. Yeah, but you would stay in the city. You wouldn't go back out.
Yeah, I know, but you know,
by getting out of there,
right? You know what this is like.
Assuming they win that game and getting out of there, you know, you never know what's going to be on the line for that game. But Jesus,
like I could go to bed, and it takes a little while after watching on TV to fall asleep. It takes a little while. But if I'm leaving the arena, if they win, I'm all jacked up. If they lose, I'm pissed off. So now I got to get out of there, go into a hotel, toss and turn in an unfamiliar bed to come in here and do the show in an hour and a half sleep. See, the priority's got to be here.
In a hotel without towels.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Why would they have no towels?
Well, that's what he does. He books these fly-by-night hotels of bed bugs and no towels.
There were no bed bugs, but there were no towels, and there was a lot of chip paint around. It looked like there was a murder that had been committed in my room, and there was only one elevator. But yeah, that's what's been drilled in my head as a man who grew up in radio. There's a Mark Chernoff on my shoulder at all times. Going, you're going to make the company bankrupt. Is that what you want to do?
There's no way he's going to a game, and there's no way he's staying in a fly-by-night hotel. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Well, you can take Boomer then. Boomer will go.
No, I don't think so. That's fine. I don't think I'll be going either.
Who are you going to take? Someone from the radio station?
No, my buddy's going. Me and my buddy are going.
Good.
My buddy Tom.
Good.
Yeah.
There you go. You and Tom.
That's it.
Enjoy it.
Me and Tom are going.
Love Tom. Do I know Tom? I don't know
No, you
Tom.
don't. You never met Tom.
Never met Tom.
I don't think. No.
Tom? No. All right. Well, we'll meet Tom at some point. But yes, this is it, man. This is crazy. So that was 1999. We're talking 26 years ago that me, you, and Rascone had no idea. We'd never met one another at that point.
That's exactly right.
We were there at the LJ 4-point play game.
That's what I actually thought Gunnar was going to get into the NBA and into basketball because he was there with me.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, we all were going nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it was as good as it gets.
The whole arena exploded.
I mean, that shot from above of the Garden, just the top coming off it at that point was...
Do you remember where you were sitting?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I remember where I was sitting. I wonder if they could find us.
Section 345, row 15. June 5th, 1999.
Yeah, so it was... For people who don't...
Now give me that basketball.
Right. Who can't pop the whole seating chart in their head. You know, we were behind the basket a little bit to the right of where the shot was coming in. So So we were in between the basket and where LJ shot the ball, and up in the 300s there. So
yeah, I'm trying to think I think we were on the other side of the court, down low.
Okay.
And I want to say we were not on the court, but we were a couple rows back.
Yeah. How old was Timothy Chalamet when this was going on?
Yeah.
I think he was 4.
And Gunnar was 8.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, we say it and we bring it up and we've been talking about it forever, but I mean, it really is true, like how rare and special what's happening tonight is.
Yeah, and this is why it's funny watching that Up in Smoke podcast. Pretty much the entire league hates the Knicks or just hates the Knicks fan.
Well, yeah, because we're celebrating things that they don't deem celebration worthy.
Right, and they're all, I understand that they're sick and tired of hearing how great Jalen Brunson is. They're sick and tired of hearing how great the Knicks is. The Knicks are the mecca of basketball and Madison Square Garden. Mm-hmm. And the Knicks fan can be, a bing-bonging in your face. And, I could understand why there is such disdain for the overall Knicks success.
Well, I mean, I think that because you're like, this is a team that's been so bad for so long, and now you're watching their fans celebrate in the street after a second-round victory, and they're thinking, well, chill out. You haven't done anything yet. But we're like, we're not going to chill out because for 2 freaking decades, we haven't done what.
Right. Well, we've had to watch other stars in other cities go on to have great runs like LeBron James.
Yeah, no one can squash the excitement of the Knicks fan right now. You can hate on them all you want. It's not going to change anything.
Even Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving selected the Brooklyn Nets.
They did.
That right there tells you all you need to know about, what at that point in time, up to that point in time, maybe not now, because Leon Rose has done a good job of acquiring players here. Yeah. And really a lot of these players, with the exception of Brunson, didn't have a choice. They were trades. Like they had to come here.
Well, that Knicks-Nets rivalry will ratchet back up when Giannis goes there because there's a lot of momentum behind that now, apparently. So a lot of those rumors. And by the way, someone asked Giannis, what's your favorite place to play on the road? And he answered on X, said New York. And that got like 60 million retweets.
Yeah.
So he's going to end up. It's going to be tough for him to be a Knick. This is an off-season conversation, but you just mentioned Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving made me think that's going to be a big thing. The Nets could become relevant again if Giannis ends up going there, but who cares now because it's all about the Knicks and the Pacers. And I would love to have the confidence that Jerry had, the Knicks in 5, and I'm going to trust Jerry because Jerry nailed the last series, but this feels like 7 to me.
I still feel like Jerry's going to be tweaking us, man.
Tweaking?
Yeah.
He's not tweaking.
I don't know.
He was dead serious about it. He put his money where his mouth was on that last one. He wasn't doing that.
On the last one he did. On Game 7 he did.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about, here we are. He knows where we are mentally right now.
Oh, of course he does. I mean, he is going to be popping champagne if the Pacers win. Like he's going to have a Pacers celebration party down there in Hazlitt. I mean, he's going to sending out the invitations right now. Hey, if this happens, party at the Recos.
He's going to try to he's got to annoy us either today or tomorrow. Somewhere along the line, there's going to be a dig here, a dig there.
No, they better hope that the Knicks win tonight because we're going to be with Jerry for a couple of days straight.
Oh, Jesus.
And he's going to be all over. I mean, he's going to be referencing whatever happens in this game if the Pacers win over and over again to try to piss us off on our kickoff to summer. So, Knicks got to win. Got to win game 1 for our own mental capacity. Dealing with Jerry Reck over the next couple of days, I got to win, man. Got to win.
That's true.
Yeah. So, no Al Dukes today. But we did get the dinner reservations changed for tomorrow night. Now
we did,
joining us. You thought that Al was backing out of the dinner yesterday when he sent us a text.
I didn't realize it was today that he was taking off.
Yeah, you thought he was backing out of the dinner.
Exactly.
You were giving him all sorts of crap. And I was confused.
Yeah, I totally misunderstood.
But yeah, we'll all be back together. And, of course, Friday, kickoff to summer. That's where this week ends. Excited. Listen, I'm not Al Roker by any means here, but just looking at what I see here, I think it's going to be dry. down there, so that is a key for Friday morning. It's not going to be warm, but I believe it's going to be dry. So I don't want you to change your plans. Yeah, I mean, we got rain 24%, cloudy skies, small chance of rain, so it'll be fine. Just put a jacket on. I know that I think the bar opens there. You can start drinking responsibly at 7 a.m., and we can get this thing moving in the right direction.